I raised a decent amount of money to keep Bob in junk food and not bored to death when he was in jail, and that was nice, But this might not be a big enough thing to where I want to ask people for. So if you guys do see my GoFundMe for this, like hook it up. But if you don't, then like don't worry about it. I'm not actually asking my fans and supporters, whatever you want to call yourselves. I feel weird calling people my fans, people that like my work, whatever. Don't send me money now, but if you see my GoFundMe, hook it up. I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's not more or less about the whole Second Amendment. It's mainly about a bad police department that is oppressing people that show up or even do live in that town for exercising their civil rights, whether it be criticizing the police department when we saw a Texas sheepdog get held at gunpoint for holding a sign. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's also a First Amendment issue. I mean, I recall one of those guys having a gun aimed at him, and they're like, put the sign down, lay on the ground. I remember one of those open carry Texas guys, he was holding a sign, and they're like, put the sign down. So it's a First Amendment issue. Well, we have a natural, inalienable right to speak. That existed before the Constitution, and it's going to exist after the Constitution. The fact that I am sentient and that I'm created by something that humans can't mess with, insert your own higher power here, gives me the right to express myself. Okay, gives every other sentient human being the right to express themselves, and that's also on the line here. They're willing to use weapons and intimidation, fear, caging humans, kidnapping them, threatening to rape women to shut down free speech. Oh, hell no.
Yeah, well, the thing is what we got going on with that police department is just straight up out of control. They're going after people with the cameras that are filming the stuff. They're going after people that have a political speech or stance that they don't like. And this kind of thing could easily happen with just a standard street preacher or someone who's leafleting and handing out information about whatever their political or belief stances are. This could easily happen to many other situations, and it's very clear this police department does not like guns. And it's gonna be interesting what happens when the big huge march in April happens and how they're gonna react to that. Are they going to start arresting people that just happen to be too far away from the main crowd or something like that? And when it's the end of the day, are they going to just try to pick people off? These are going to be big questions that will be answered when the time happens. Let's see, TCA 39, unlawfully capture images of intended conduct. Oh, okay, I think they're still talking about some military stuff that, Constitutional Heroes wanting us to look at a trespass code for the United States military bases. We'll look at that later on, guys. But let's also talk about Morro Bay with bad police officers. How about that, huh?
Yeah, I think a lot of this has to do with the psychology in the 21st century. Like, really, there's a few professions that a sociopath is attracted to, and law enforcement is one of them. Like Portland, the city I live in, it's got a whole lot of corruption in it. But there's some things I like about their screening process to become a cop. Like 1 out of every 100 applicants they accept. And there's a heavy psychological screening that goes on. The screening, the background check that's ran and the vetting that's ran on a Portland Police Bureau is similar to or as good as the vetting that they would run somebody if they wanted to become an FBI agent in Quantico. It's really that hard to become a cop in Portland, and if you're going to give somebody the power to kill someone, in a society, which I find repugnant, because I don't believe people can delegate rights that they don't own, and no one owns the right to murder someone. Okay. But if society is going to do this, at the very least, they should heavily scrutinize and psychologically screen these people,
Yeah, and so I'm actually loading up the incident over in Morro Bay, so this will be quite interesting here. This is what originally started the whole Morro Bay thing.
you just walked into our office, and filming the inside of our office is a violation of the penal code.
But it's a public lobby, though. It's open to the public.
But let me tell you, once you pass beyond that threshold, you're not allowed to photograph in there. That's the same as photographing inside of a jail or an election office.
From a public area, though, I've photographed the lobbies of many police stations. Like I was just at the Los Altos Sheriff's Station.
Nate, it's a misdemeanor crime to do that. Okay. So here's what we'd like to do, Nate. We'd like to get your identification, identify you, and then see what the hell's going on here. Okay, now what's your middle and last name?
I don't want to give that information, sir. I haven't.
I'd say, Nate, it is a violation of the penal code to photograph the inside of that office.
Nate,
and you did it, okay?
But it's a public lobby,
relax.
though.
Here's what I'm gonna do.
But you photographed the inside.
And
that is a misdemeanor crime.
And Nate, here's one of the main things.
What's the code on that?
Listen,
I don't know the penal code off the top of my head.
Yeah.
So Nate, here's a real concern I have. You're filming the back of the police station where I have also safety concerns for my officers. In a lot of towns, we have people all the time, and we're not accusing you of this, but may not have the best intentions as far as officers. So, based on that, and based on the combination of your activity, go ahead now. We're gonna insist on identifying you, and you don't have a choice.
As well as the penal code violation you committed just minutes ago.
What is that violation, though? I
was asked and answered. It's the same as photographing an election office or the inside of a jail.
I've actually done that before.
Okay,
many facilities.
Yeah, and that's a misdemeanor crime, and that's why you're being contacted, and we want your identification. So we want it right now, Nate.
I don't want to provide that, sir. I want to contact my lawyer.
Okay.
Okay.
That you sure that hurts.
All right, so as is, that's the police chief once again with Morro Bay here, doing the arrest. And the fact is last time I checked, there was no penal code in the state of California that covers the filming of inside the public lobby area of a police station. And they're sitting there making up the laws, and then they go and arrest Nasty Nathaniel and all that stuff. And what's quite interesting is it turns out that the police department is sort of also got the backing of the local community for, okay, let's violate people's rights kind of thing. And it's sort of a weird thing that it's sort of gravitated where it's influenced the local area to be just as bad with the various citizens that have harassed people that went down there and did public filming and stuff like that.